We'll start with our top story today, and the Prime Minister has announced farmers and primary producers affected by bushfires will soon have access to grants of up to $75,000. This money will come out of the government's $2 billion fire recovery fund. And joining me live now with more details on this is Sky News political editor Andrew Clennell. Andrew, take us through the announcement.
Well, yes, up to $100 million or perhaps more if it's required, up to $75,000 per farmer. And it's to do things like mend sheds, fences, dispose of livestock, all those sorts of things that farmers trying to make their way back after this disaster will require. What's been put to me, Charlotte, is that there will be an announcement every day this week and into early next week by the PM as he looks to show he's acting on this crisis. I believe there's going to be further commitments in the areas of small business and tourism as there's an agreement with New South Wales that the feds are going to provide direct assistance, as you saw with this measure for farmers today, and the states will look after infrastructure. Let's hear what the Prime Minister had to say about his announcement today.
Today we have agreed an important package to support our farmers, to support our graziers, to support our primary producers, and that package is delivering significant support under Category D that was provided in response also to the North Queensland floods. Those grants of up to $75,000 proved an absolute lifetime to those agricultural communities and, importantly, to the farmers to whom they were provided. We will be providing those $75,000 grants, up to $75,000, to farmers and primary producers in the affected areas.
There were also warnings during the press conference, Charlotte, from Agriculture Minister Bridget McKenzie about the fact milk prices could go up just as meat prices have gone up. Let's have a listen to that.
The supermarkets also need to let the Australian public know that because of the bushfires and the drought, you will have to pay more for your milk. Now, processors are doing the right thing by farmers by actually paying milk checks when in many cases they're not getting the product, and therefore that's having an impact on their business. Well, it's up to the supermarkets to not just talk about being the fresh food people, but get on with supporting in a very real and tangible way, because farmers don't grow food for free. It's a business.
Andrew, the Prime Minister also made it clear that he expects longer, hotter seasons from now on due to climate change.
Yes, he did, and we really have seen a change of rhetoric over the past month here. On January 2nd, he was sort of saying, well, I hope the next fire season isn't this bad, although he did say before the last fire season there were warnings like this. So perhaps some in government sort of thought we keep getting these warnings and it didn't happen. It is difficult to escape the climate change issue, though, when you've got situations like the smoke in Melbourne today, which the PM alluded to, and you've got it having an effect as such that the Australian Open is disrupted. Let's have a listen now.
While we are facing more benign weather conditions in the short term, this morning I received briefings from the Bureau of Meteorology, which set out that over the medium term, out to the end of April, Australia will continue to be experiencing warmer and drier conditions.
Scott Morrison, Charlotte, also spoke about the fact he'd been able to get that sort of US travel warning waived. And it seems he's been in communication with both the Vice President Pence and Secretary of State Pompeo in order for that to happen. Obviously, that was going to be pretty damaging to the economy to tell Americans not to come here. Let's have a listen to that.
I'm also very pleased and appreciative of the revision to the travel advice by the US administration, for that being scaled back to level 1 again. As I indicated to you 2 days ago, I had the opportunity to raise this at very senior levels of the administration, and I particularly thank the US administration, obviously the President, but also Vice President Pence and also Secretary Pompeo for their kind attention and urgent attention to those issues.
So a lot to contemplate with this bushfires crisis for the PM. We'll be seeing a lot more of him on it and his ministers in the next week. We've seen wildlife announcement, now farmers one, tourism and small business to come. he really wants us to know that he's on top of the recovery effort. There are hopes, Charlotte, that it is a recovery effort from now on and the worst of the fires have gone, but who knows what happens in February or March.
Yeah, that would be nice, but I do think we'll see daily announcements from the Prime Minister. In agreement with you there, Andrew. Thanks for the update.